Welcome back, everyone, here to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Pache. Always great to be with you as we continue to bring you some of the day's biggest top stories and live feeds. And tomorrow, all eyes will be on the White House as President Trump will be welcoming the Saudi Crown Prince MBS. And this comes really full circle moment. If you remember President Biden calling the Saudi Crown Prince a pariah, and now the Saudi Crown Prince will now be another honored guest at the White House. So we want to break all of that down here for you on Live Now from Fox. Bring in our next guest to help break it down for us. Please welcome Jonathan Strum, former Georgetown professor of Israeli law and Middle East affairs. Appreciate you, and thanks so much for coming on.
Always good to be here.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about this big meeting. Obviously, there is going to be a discussion on an arms deal that is going to be talked about. I want to talk a little bit about the future of AI as well. But first off, what do you think of this meeting coming now?
Well, I mean, look, this is, as you said, it's sort of coming full circle. It's the first visit of the Saudi Crown Prince to the United States since the last Trump administration. In the interim, you had the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, and it took a while to get over that. And now we have, and as you know, the Saudis are just too important to ignore. And to have, you know, we need to move forward in the region where the United States is looking to the Saudis to do a lot in the region, and you know, so they're here. I mean, you know, each side is coming to this meeting with a set of objectives. The Saudis have their objectives, and the U.S. has its own objectives.
And let's talk about, for some of the objectives, we already know that the F-35 sale.
Well, the F-35 sale is obviously critical, but there's a lot of components to it. Everybody wants the F-35. It's a stealth bomber. It can be used for aerial defense. It can be used for bombing. It is the crown jewel in international air supplies. The Turks wanted it. They were cut out of the F-35 program in 2019 because they had bought Russian surface-to-air defense systems, which wasn't compatible with being a NATO ally. The UAE wants the F-35s as well. That sale was put on hold because of the Chinese influence in the UAE. Certain computer systems were being controlled by the Chinese. And in this one, too, the Saudis have a security agreement with China, which is kind of why it's been put on hold. I mean, DIA is concerned about it. Lots of elements are concerned within the Defense Administration about this sale, but it's also very clear that it's going to go forward. If I can just break it up just a little bit more, there's several different kinds of F-35s. There's some that go up the vertical landing. There's conventional landing. There's aircraft carrier. There's a real question as to what elements will the Saudis get. The U.S. is required by law to maintain Israel's qualitative superiority. So my guess is that the F-35 sales will go forward. The question is, what are the bells and whistles on those F-35s? And I will say this: they're talking about selling 48. Why 48 and not 50? I have no idea. But the price tag is roughly $100 million each. So you're talking on that sale alone of at least, you know, $4.8 billion. So that's a big sale. And they probably, even in the best case scenario, probably wouldn't be ready for delivery for another 6 to 7 years.
Yeah, that's huge there. And such a great points talking about those different tiers that are possible with the F-35. Let's talk a little bit about AI and really the future there. And of course, Saudi Arabia wants to be in the mix. How will this visit maybe outline some of the AI capabilities that American companies have and could be used for Saudi Arabia or even sold to them?
Well, I think you got it on the last one. It's a question of what chips are going to be allowed to be sold to Saudi. Um, the Saudis are making a big push in all technology sectors, particularly what we call the deep tech sectors, particularly in AI and biotech and some other areas. Renewable energy is another one that the Saudis are actually very big in, as the U.S. is withdrawing from that. So I think the question is going to be what level of chips will be allowed to be had. One of the concerns, again, as always, that there's the ever-present Chinese around, and there's a lot of fear that some of that will go. I think that one of the things that the Saudis have that people forget about is that they obviously they have energy. They also use a lot of renewable energy, and data centers are notorious for being energy consumers. And they're in their data centers, they're actually putting renewable energy solar panels on top of the renewable energy centers to power those centers. But it's going to be a question of what chips are going to be allowed to be sold. And the question is, will all of the people that the United States is not allowing into the country because as scientists, students, and things like that, are they going to all end up in Saudi? Saudi's opening up to the rest of the world. Vision 2030, announced about 7 years ago, has really opened the Saudis up to the rest of the world. And a lot of people are going to end up going there rather than coming here.
Yeah, that's such a good point as well. And lastly, Jonathan, I want to ask you about the reports there that there will be some high profile guests along with President Trump and the Saudi Crown Prince, learning that Elon Musk will be at the White House tomorrow along with Tiger Woods. And would this be the moment there for the Saudi Crown Prince to make the move for Tiger for Live?
I'm guessing that he probably will make that move. For your guests that don't know, Live was a Saudi sponsored pro tour that provided huge purses to professional golfers to go play on that tour, and they reached an agreement last year to sort of come together. So Tiger Woods was one of the few players of the top players that didn't join that group. But yeah, I think that will be an interesting. I think that will be an interesting pairing there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us on Live Now from Fox, giving us a great preview of what to expect tomorrow in this all in-demand meeting and dinner. We appreciate it.
Great, always a pleasure.